Hey everyone, this is Riddle Hacker AJ Raven, and I'm here with my recap and review for X-Men Red issue number 6, which is a Judgment Day tie-in, and I've been looking forward to reading this issue, especially because of how the previous issue ended with Magneto not having a heart and him having to use his Omega level mutant powers to keep his heart beating. So let's see how long he can keep that up, and yeah, we have Storm on the cover. Storm was busy on Earth when Arakko was attacked by Uranus and his forces. So I am ready for Storm to, just unleash her powers. But so when I ended up picking up this issue, again, I was expecting a lot from Storm, but if you guys are Storm fans and you were expecting her to basically go all Omega against certain threats, well, keep your expectations in check. Because this issue is basically more about Magneto, and we get a reveal when it comes to the Night Seeds. It's still good, but if you were expecting a lot from Storm, So the issue has this ad for the movie Prey, which is a very, very fun movie. I recommend that you go watch it. And we have this entire script from a log or a script from NASA field person, Dr. C. Marshall. And it's a fun little script showing that, you know what, even though Brand ended up warning a lot of people from Earth that they shouldn't come to Arakko, and that the people of Arakko, the Araki, are very, very brutal and they fight everyone. Well, through Marshall, we get to see that no, they are very, very accommodating, especially because if they consider you a friend, of course they won't destroy you. So this is C. Marshall. He looks very, very good, and he's basically he's logging about what's happening on Arakko, and he's also taking care of these two kids. And yeah, this is where Storm, Sobunar, and Latuka come in. And they're also the one who tell Marshall that, yep, he is an Araki. And the fact that writer L. Ewing had this line of being an Araki today being said by a black person, I really think that, the Araki, at least a majority of the Araki, they are supposed to be black or brown. That's black and brown, not black or brown. Like black people and brown people, I think that the Araki are supposed to be those communities. That's what I think. That's what I think. Like the majority of the Araki are supposed to be people of color. So yeah, Storm comes in with Latuka and Sobunar. How she ended up coming to Arakko, we don't necessarily get an explanation, but I think it's implied that Latuka ended up teleporting her, or Storm used a gate or something. I'm not really sure. But yeah, Storm is like, yep, you know what? I am angry and I am going to get rid of this threat. So she ends up working with Sobunar. He ends up releasing the water from inside his body to create these raindrops. It's a monsoon, and that monsoon is messing up with this thing's lasers, and Storm ends up frying it. And I'm like, there is a line where Storm, where is it? Let me see. Something about Latuka can basically teleport this thing into the sun. But yeah, there is this line here. Yeah, here it is. Latuka could teleport it into the sun. And I'm like, why doesn't Latuka already do that? Why didn't she do that already? Especially when we find out that these machines are self-healing and they can evolve. Like Latuka, just teleport all of these machines into the sun. Why aren't you doing that? So we have this little summary. Writer L. Ewing, artist Stefano Caselli, color artist Federico Blee. So cover artists are Russell Dotterman and Matt Hollingsworth. Issue number 6, and it's titled The Hour of Magneto. So again, this is more focused on Magneto. So Storm fans, I'm a Storm fan myself, so yeah, it was a bit disappointing. So this is basically, we get a panel where Storm is basically talking about, you know what, I couldn't be here and I feel guilty about it. And Sobunar is like, hey, don't feel guilty about it. It's not like you weren't doing something. You were busy fighting your fight. So even if you weren't here, you were still fighting for us. And then Storm is like, Latuka, you can see everything. So let me know where I can be the most useful. And Latuka and Storm end up combining themselves, their consciousness, and this is basically where Storm ends up letting go of herself, her me, and she ends up seeing what Richard is up to, what the Fisher King is up to, what Iska is up to, and all of that stuff. She also sees what Magneto is up to, Wrong Slide, Roberto, and everything. And we get to see, from this panel, we get to see that the Fisher King is getting ready, because again, the Fisher King is linked to the reveal about the night seats, which which certain people in the fandom already were expecting. So yeah, we do get a reveal for the night seats, which I'll get to in a bit. Now, the fact that Latuka and Storm ended up connecting each other in order to see where she can be the most helpful, I'm like, Storm's powers allow her to basically control the weather across the entire planet. So why don't she just sit down? As far as my opinion goes, she should have just sat down. She should have started concentrating, and she should have basically helped everyone at the same time. She should have helped Richard. She should have helped Roberto, Wrong Slide, by shooting lightning, changing the weather, or something without from the same place. Like Storm is in place A, she can still control the weather in place B, C, D, E, all the way to Z. Like why couldn't she just do that? I have no idea. So this is where we get to reveal about the night seats. So it turns out that the 3 people in the night seats are Roberto, this new character in the middle who can teleport, and I guess she's made of smoke, and the Fisher King. And these are our night seats, and on the page next to it, we have an entire explanation about the history of the night seats, why they were created, why they were dissolved, and why they were created again. So the fact that the Fisher King ended up meeting Magneto, it was all part of a plan, and yeah, Magneto doesn't kind of appreciate that. He was like, really? I thought we ended up meeting naturally, but everything comes naturally, Selena's song. But yeah. It turns out that no, it was all part of a plan, and the Fisher King is like, hey, I had to make sure, okay? I had to make sure, so will you close the door now? Of course, Magneto's like, no, we're friends, so let's do this. And then the mutants realize that, yep, all of the weapons that Uranus left behind, even though they are able to defeat those weapons, they can heal themselves, they can self-replicate, and they can evolve. So again, I was like, Latuka, why aren't you just throwing all of these weapons into the sun? Why aren't you doing that? So Magneto has been busy fighting this giant gorilla-type thing that has been made from silicone. And it's made of plastic and the blood is silicone. And this is where Latuka, Sobonar, and Storm come in. And Storm, instead of hitting this giant thing with lightning, she ends up hitting Magneto with lightning. And then we get a narration from Storm, which is basically like, a little known fact, Magneto's mutant gift attunes to my own once I struck him with lightning, which again, longtime X-Men fans would know that yes, Storm's power over electricity and everything, it does relate to Magneto's control of electromagnetic fields. These two powers are very, very similar in a way. What Magneto can do, Storm can do too. So I like the fact that Ewing ended up exploring that in a very, very interesting manner, because Storm is like, hey, Max, I need you to stay alive. And she ends up basically sharing her own life energy with Magneto in order to keep his heart beating. She's basically serving her powers as a battery pack for Magneto, and she's like, Magneto, are you ready for this? And we get this very, very cool scene where Storm ends up keeping Magneto's heart beating, and she's like, Magneto, do it. And this threat, and we have this narration where it's like the Arakko watch in shock. Yes, tactics are not help. Yes, nobody fights alone, but this is a societal rule not bent, but shattered, explosively, gloriously. Without the need for words, I give of myself, and he accepts without hesitation. Though an error means my life for his. So basically, Storm is putting her own life on the line to keep Magneto alive. In the broken land, such intimacy is reserved for the closest of lovers. And she's like, ready? Oh yes. And then this is where Magneto ends up unleashing a very, very devastating attack against that giant ape threat, which is basically Magneto summoning molten iron from the core of the planet to melt this entire thing. And we get another impressive feat from Storm. She's like, you know what? Even as my own command of climate and temperature keeps Arakko Prime from being harmed, the release of power is intense. So basically, while Magneto was controlling the molten core molten iron from the core of the planet to melt this thing. Storm was using her own powers while powering up Magneto to ensure that the planet isn't harmed and everyone remains safe. Also, Roberto looks so amazing, like so handsome in this panel. But yeah, they're like, you know what? Urano's weapons, they keep on healing themselves. We have to use an off switch, and this is where they're like, you know what? We have to figure out something because Iska is still not fighting with us. She's against us, which means that Uranos is still going to win. And this is where Roberto is like, right. If Arakko holds the line long enough, we can find the off switch for the murder army. And Storm is like, well, if we don't know, where that is, we know who has it. It's decided then. And yeah, Storm is like, yep, let's do this. Let's take the fight to Uranos. And I'm like, here's to hoping the Storm's team is the one that ends up addressing the Uranos situation. Because again, if Storm's team doesn't fight Uranos, then what the heck? Why go through all of this? Why? And also, I have a feeling that the Uranos fight is going to happen in some main issue from the Judgment Day line, because I don't think that's going to happen in X-Men Red, because from what I know, the upcoming issue number 7, is basically going to be about Storm handling Iska. After they have dealt with Uranos and the rest of the Eternals. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing in which issue Storm's team is going to fight Uranos. That's going to be very, very interesting, because basically if you end up killing Uranos, the entire planet dies. If you end up knocking him unconscious, the entire planet dies. So they're in a situation. Now, as far as certain other reveals are concerned, so these 3 are the Night seats. And apparently no Omega has ever sat on the Night seat. So of course, Roberto and the Fisher King, they are not Omega level, but they're still going to operate. And as far as we got, also I'm not really sure if we knew this before, but I think that it's revealed in this particular issue that Cora, the mutant who has the ability to amplify another mutant's powers, and she has a burning heart, she is supposed to be the Fisher King's daughter. So that's an interesting link. And apparently Cora is like, you know what, my father told me something, that if he fails or if he falls, then there's something that Cora has to do. But yeah, it was an enjoyable issue. Overall, it was an enjoyable issue. I really liked it. It was the Hour of Magneto. For Storm fans, yeah, Storm was part of the story. She did something, but it wasn't necessarily heavily focused on her. Again, I have no idea why Storm didn't necessarily help everyone all together. I have no idea why she didn't do that, but yeah, it is what it is. And if I end up doing a written review of this for the Geek Theory, the link to my review will be down in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of the issue. And should I do a giveaway? I'm not really sure. Okay, we have an ad for New Mutants 31. Escapade, breakout star of Marvel Voices Pride, joins the New Mutants. It will be released on October 2022. And again, yeah, let's do a giveaway, okay? So this giveaway is open for anyone who is able to access Marvel.com to redeem this digital code. I think it is geo-restricted. I have a feeling that it's only limited to people in the US or Canada. I'm not really sure, but yeah, if you guys are able to access this code, then feel free to enter yourself in the giveaway. Basically, all you need to do is leave a comment down below, giving a rating out of 5 for this issue. Is it a 3? Is it a 4? Is it a 5? And yeah, just give me a rating, and you'll be entered into the giveaway. And the giveaway will end, let's say do Friday. The giveaway will end on Friday midnight Mountain Time, and one winner will be selected at random from the comments. So yeah, all you need to do to enter the giveaway is leave a comment below giving your rating for the issue. You can also leave an explanation about the reasoning behind the rating if you want to, but it's not necessary. And yeah, until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed. See you guys later. Bye.